Hey everybody, FarmrTrogg here. Gonna do a field walk. It's what is it? It is Wednesday, June 5th. I'm at the back of acre 3 here. So pretty much the furthest back in any of the fields. Right over here is the prairie. Looking pretty decent. We got some fleabane flowering, but lots of pockets of cone flowers sticking up there, and bee balm and grasses. It's looking good. Looking good. Over here, acre 3, if you remember from previous field walks, this year, it's its last year on vegetables and harvesting. Next year, it'll be in animals, like the field up there with the goat hut in it that they have slowly started to knock down. Back here, we have our popcorn. We got yellow popcorn, 4 beds planted. This past week, so you can see kind of the row marking, but nothing growing yet. Even with last night's rain, it's not going to pop out yet. It'll be a week or so. Bunch of empty beds for future popcorn, and then whatever we need space for. I'm going to put some beans in here this coming week. Got to check the weather as to when that's going to happen. We had some early plantings in here that just got so overgrown because it's been so wet we haven't been able to keep up. So we've got wonderful news coming out of the field here, because it's just looking delightful, except the things that we planted earlier in the year. The moisture and the temperatures, I guess is the best way to say it. It wasn't freezing cold, but it was 50 degrees and lower for a good portion of spring here up until recently, minus a few days. So we planted peas, we planted beans, we planted spinach. What else did I have over there? Arugula and sorrel. And we got a few beans to come up in some areas, and no peas. I am very upset about the peas. I might have had in, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So in 1,000 feet, maybe 1,200 feet, I might have had, 50 pea shoots come up. That's just not good. I tend to think it is soil temperature and moisture. Low soil temperature and moisture causes seeds to rot in the ground. I'm not thrilled about that. They weren't planted too deep or anything. So, there's nobody to blame but myself here, because, hey, whatever I did, however I planted them, looks like they got rotted in the ground. But that's where we stand. So I say all that because the next few weeks here are going to be a little lean. We're going to, in the other use of the word lean, into some extra vegetables from last year that we have canned and frozen or pickled, or are still, like potatoes, still here. So sorry about that. We're still going to have vegetables, some fresh stuff, but like my lettuce, pummeled by the rain. Hopefully I can show you some pictures of that. So the outer shells of it that had originally started growing and were looking good, just demolished, and now it's kind of reforming. But let's start back here. Our beans, next planting of beans looks good, nice and thick here. These are beets. Again, every year we try. I can't guarantee we're going to have them, but I'm going to make a bigger effort this year, hopefully, to make sure our soil will give us some beets. We got full-size cucumbers, a row here, pickling cucumbers here. Everything's coming in great. This is acorn squash plants, and we seeded down there. We've got butternut squash plants and seeds down there. This is zucchini and seeds down there. It's all looking great. And then patty pan and yellow zucchini here. These just got seeded in. As we go back, you can see 3 rows in each of these. These are the 3rd planting of sweet corn, which should be ready mid to late August. Then we get into and these are looking great, our 2nd planting of sweet corn. Haven't got all the weeds trimmed down between beds yet, but I'm working on it. This is the 2nd planting of sweet corn, looking good. Like how everything is coming in. This is where we had some peas planted. That was the first planting. But this row here, we had 2 rows of, or this bed here, we had 2 rows of peas, nothing. This one, 2 rows of peas, nothing. And then we had turnips down the center. And I've gone through and trimmed here, so there's a lot of weeds laying all over the bed. But you can see here, we've got radishes down the center. A little mounded up on with weed debris, but it's going to keep new stuff from growing there. But there should have been peas growing here. You can see corn, 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 corn. But no peas, no spinach, beans, except for that one planting at the top, looked horrible. Again, combination of just the soil temperature and moisture being too cool. I think things are rotting in the ground. I can't blame the seeds because it's not like I'm the only one getting them. But like I said, everything else is looking great. It's just going to be a few extra weeks here. You know, we've got radishes in areas. I've got the Hockereye turnips, more radishes, sweet corn's coming in. And then you saw up there the beans and cucumbers and all that. I'm going to take you into acre 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Acre 5, we're in acre 4 right now. So acre 5 is where most of the transplants go, you know, tomatoes and cole crops and peppers and all of that. And not everything's in the ground, not everything's big enough. Again, still don't trust all of the weather, because I mean, we had 40 degrees here just a few nights ago, and that's not conducive to anything. A lot of beds here we haven't planted up yet, but here, so we've got cabbage, we've got yellow peppers, we've got basil and celery, we've got broccoli and Brussels sprouts, we've got kale and kohlrabi, we've got chard, green peppers and more green peppers down there, tomatillos with ground cherries at the end, Hungarian hot wax, and on the other end, more spicy peppers. Oh, we missed a set of peppers to plant yesterday. Oops on us. Well, they got watered. But this is our habanero, or not habaneros, jalapenos and poblanos. Everything's looking great. In fact, those poblanos have fruit on them. And don't expect anything soon. It's not going to happen. I should probably pick those off to let those plants grow. And then all the way down on the other end, we've got tomatoes in. I'll get down there quick to show you. Other things on the farm, the cover crop in acre 6, you can see that field is green. It's because all the buckwheat is really filling in well. So once that gets tall enough and almost to flower, we'll go cut that down so that all of that gets reincorporated into the soil. Again, that's where sunflowers will be for hopefully late August, September flowering. You can see between beds here and a whole row of cherry tomatoes, but in between beds, I haven't cut down any weeds or anything because we don't need to. Nothing's really in flower. I'll get to that like I have over here. Bigger problem is that it's just been every other day rain, and it's hard to trim. It's hard to weed, all of that. And hard, it's not just hard, it's dangerous for some of the plants because you don't want to hurt them. And you also, like tomatoes, don't want to spread diseases. But anyway, there's no harm here in these walkways being this high right now. Not worried about it, especially since when we go through with the trimmer, all of these, this green here goes right onto the beds and then is incorporated into the soil as the summer goes on. So, you know, I pointed out some cherries here. We've got celebrity tomatoes here. That's just a normal hybrid, regular red. These are Galahad, different type. This is Brandywine. This is Cherokee Purple. These are, what were these, Chris? These are, I can't pull up the list. It's on the phone and I'm filming with the phone. But we filled that in yesterday. This is still waiting for clover to fill in. These are Roma. And then our onions and rows of onions are looking good. Some of the ones we transplanted from last year are going to seed, but that's okay. I'll cut them off and maybe get some seeds there. And so we did, you can't see too well in between the onions here, but we transplanted some Rutgers all the way down there in between. So that's the fields here. Like I've said in the past, our lettuce doesn't get planted in the field because deer eat it. And the problem this year was not the deer. We had a problem with just when we transplanted the lettuce. We had heavy rain and it just got pummeled, but you can see the centers are coming back, so these will be good in a couple weeks. Something else to point out here, I probably haven't shown anybody. We have garlic here. Looks like we have garlic scapes forming, so expect garlic scapes in the next couple weeks. And then it's two types of garlic, that's the size difference here. But we have tons of garlic for later on in the year. Oh my goodness, these scapes are longer than I thought. Wow, that rain really pushed them out. So yeah, everything's looking good there. And then of course in the tunnel, we've got tomatoes for late season over there. And I think I've covered everything except the animals, but the animals are just loving it being in the fields right now. So there's the view of all the fields. Everything looks good except what we need right now. And I'm not thrilled about it, but it's the way it is. So I wanted to let you guys know and show you all the good things as well. And like I said, everything's growing great except for that stuff we planted earlier in the spring. It's just going to be a few weeks before some of the things that I had wanted are going to be ready because of temperatures and things like that. But we're still going to have food. There's still going to be shares. Just not exactly what I wanted. So that's the deal now. This is the first week of June. Shares are going to start back up after our 2 weeks break, and those 2 weeks have been so productive here. I'm thrilled that we had them because yesterday alone, before the rain came, we got, I think, 1,200 seedlings put in the ground, which is just great. It's really made a difference having that time to do that and not having to do logistics and all that. So that's the deal. That's the farm, and I will see everybody soon. Bye-bye.